Today we're going to be removing a Teledyne Laars Lite heater and replacing it with a Jandy Legacy heater. This will involve removing the gas line and reinstalling it, rewiring in the electricity, and replumbing it into the system. First thing we got to do is shut off the gas. There's usually a little pepcock here. Turn it so that the arrow is pointing away from the gas line. That's closed. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pipes because the new heater does not have threads. It's got unions. So you just get a saw. Next, we're going to remove the gas line. If the heater was installed correctly, there will be a union in here. You grab a wrench or a channel locks. You just come in here and crack the union and unscrew it. And then once that's done, you want to grab your pipe wrench because we got to thread this out in order to remove and pull the heater. So we're going to remove this whole pipe. And just set it aside. There, the gas line has been disconnected. You want to remove the old stub nipple from the gas line because we're going to need that on the new heater.
Our next step is to remove the wiring connected into the old heater. First step is to come to the breaker panel and shut off all of the power.
First, you find out where the power comes in. There's usually a conduit on the right side of most heaters, and it comes in behind this electronic ignition box. To remove this box, there's two screws on the outside. One I already removed, and then there's another screw right up in here, and that will expose your hard wire coming from the breaker. And this whole unit just kind of flips out like a hinge, and you have your wire nuts where your live feed is, and to disconnect them you just unscrew the wire nuts. Done. There's a grounding wire that also needs to be unscrewed, and then your electrical removal is complete. Once we remove the electrical, it's time to remove the electrical fitting. It's got a nut on it. Sometimes it's helpful to get a screwdriver to just go to help you get up in there and unscrew it. You don't want to lose any of these little parts you're taking off because you want to reuse them on the next one. But once you get it off, just pull it off the wire and pull out your electrical. To remove the heater, it makes sense to make it lighter. There are 8 screws, 2 on each corner. Once those are removed, the whole lid can just be pulled off so you can take it in somewhat of sections. Remove the side plates to get at the switch that will need to be removed. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. You also want to remove all the wires for the high limit switches on the side. Now you're ready to remove the whole heater. It should just come right out. Now that's all disconnected. hole that we grabbed out of the other gas valve, they put a little cover in here to keep all the dust out, so you want to remove that. You want to use some certified gas fitting dope to mount these gas pipes in, because you don't want a gas leak. And you want to make sure it's nice in there, nice and snug. Give it a couple turns with a wrench. And get that threaded in and started. Again, you want to tighten it up with the wrench to make sure that you don't have any gas leaks. And then once you've done that, you just line up the coupling with the other nipple and get that thing started and going. When you get these, you got to install the union, the O-ring into the union. It goes in this little groove right here. You want to make sure that's pressed firmly in place. And you want to get this part and slide this one over it so that it locks. And then you're ready to install it. These only need to be hand tightened on. You do not need a wrench for them. You just want to make sure they're nice and snug. Once you have them cut, you want to use your primer. Clean up the fittings really good. Primer cleans it. It also helps soften the plastic so that the glue can bond to it. You want to make sure that there's no dirt or anything on there. Make sure it's nice and thoroughly coated. And then once you got that, you grab your glue, just go around it. Make sure you got a nice big glob of glue on there. I prefer using the clear pool glue just because it doesn't leave the purple messes. I'm sure a lot of y'all have those on your filter systems. And once you get it all glued, you just push it in and you're good to go. Now that we have the wires hooked up, we're going to color code them. All the greens go together. So you want to twist them up real good. Get a wire nut and connect it in there. White is always negative. Sometimes they use yellow for black. So we're going to connect the black and the yellow together. It all depends on, you know, what color wire the electricians used. All these heaters come factory wired for 240 volts. There's a little card that we have some pictures of that'll tell you what wires up here you need to change in order to step it down to 110. But they come factory wired for 240 so that you don't blow out the heater. Tricky lining them up. And you just get your screwdriver and just give it a twist.
And there went your heater.
There we go.
Little heat. How long before the pool's warm?
How long before the pool's warm? 1 degree an hour.